So I used the tooling from that. It was already paid, so I didn't have to go develop a bunch of stuff, and there we are with the new one. But once we get a decent microphone, what we want to do is pay attention to the radios. And let's see if we can do some experimenting for you and let you hear live. I didn't get to set this up prior. They didn't get this to us in time, but it's all about experimenting. We're going to bring up a signal on 7240, and this signal, of course, is going to be single sideband. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay, here we go there. And we can do a bit of mic gain. See if we can get this thing humming here. Wow, I don't see anything going on there. Well, maybe we will, and maybe we won't. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, golly. Well, that's okay. If we can't do that, we can't do that. I was going to let you hear what's going on here, but it's not doing it. Well, that's okay. How many of you build antennas? Do you really know how they work? Has anybody ever explained to you how Dr. Yagi designed the Yagi? The driven element. And then he figured out mathematically to put directors. One in front, another one in front, and mathematically you can get some gain out of that. Then he decided to do one better, to put a reflector behind. And we can get reduction from the rear by having that out of phase. Is that right? Phasing is everything. What I brought with me today is a little cable. This is going to be incredible. You will never forget this next 5 minutes. It's going to mean so much to you. This is science. Trust me. We could be here all day talking about this subject, which I love so much because it affects everything you do. I have 2 microphones and they're in phase. They both work. Well, big deal. Well, yeah, it is a big deal. You have a 500 watt amplifier and you're not making it through the pileups because you got some mushy microphone and you haven't paid attention to how your transmitter's adjusted. So you go out and buy a 1,000 watt amp, you spent $2,000 to do it. Do you know how much you gained if you doubled your power? How many dB? Do you know what 3 dB sounds like? Have you really been taught what 3 dB, what that couple of $1,000 bought you? This is not a magic act. This is not selling anything. It's exactly what happens. And you're going to say, you're wrong, Heil. I'm louder than that. No, you're not, unless you're defying science. Your ego might be there. Oh, well, I have a big amplifier. Here comes 3 dB when I talk into both of these microphones. You might want to cover up your ears because for $2,000 it better get pretty loud, right? Well, here it comes. There's 3 dB. Wait a minute, Heil, you're not, no, mine's louder than that. Well, if yours is louder than that, you defied science. I'm going to start a company. I'm going to hire you because we're going to make a ton of money defying science. Listening is very important. Listening is a mental thing. Hearing is a physical process. We all do that. Okay. Close your eyes, because I'm going to take that 3 dB away. Let's see if you can hear that 3 dB on the count of 3. See if you can hear that 3 dB, that $2,000 go away. 1, 2, 3. Did you hear it? It's there. Come on, do it again. 1, 2, 3. It's there. Is it worth it? I don't think so. What is worth it? Equalization. If you had most of the microphones for ham radio today, MC50s and MD100s and all this kind of nonsense that you buy, is supposed to be matching. The only matching is the color. Trust me, none of these companies build their own microphones. Not one of them. They're built by outside subcontractors, put their name on them. Most of them are built by a company that builds 90% of the CB microphones. They put their name on it and sell it to you. Remember I told you about the marketers? They don't understand, they just sell it. That's sick, because it's a matching microphone. Oh, well that's great. No, it doesn't sound very good. What's wrong with it? It's mushy. Well, we need to have a microphone that does this. Look what happened when it's flat and done right. You see, I gained probably 10 to 15 dB just by equalizing that. Here's what you're really not going to forget. This magic little plug I have. Magic little plug is wired backwards. Well, it still works. Big deal. Do you know what happens when you take two signals out of phase? Absolutely nothing. Oh, they still work, but not out of phase. How did they get rid of the other sideband? How do they get rid of noise? How does your beat cancellation work? Like that. You can just go in and it just takes that other signal out of phase and he's gone. How did they get rid of the carrier for sideband? We could be here all day. How did noise canceling headsets work? They have little microphones inside that listen to the outside and listen to the program. And they take the outside noise and it's out of phase. Hello, thank you very much. How does your Yagi work? You have an element, a driven element, and they figured out mathematically, Dr. Yagi figured out that if he puts it up here so far at a certain frequency, he'll get 3 dB a gain. But then if he puts one up here, he gets 6 dB a gain. Now we're talking. Then he can put one up here and get 12 dB a gain or whatever, and it just keeps going. But he can take that one element from the driven, the reflector behind it. So when I turn my antenna to the United States from here, I'm not going to hear Germany because it's out of phase. Oh, goodbye. Think about it. You're handy-talkie. All of a sudden, you're walking along and the signal's like 30/9, big signal, and it's 2 feet away and I can't hear anything. What's wrong? What happened to the signal? Well, you see, when it leaves a repeater, it bounces about 50,000 times before it ever gets to you. And if it hits that water tower and goes over and hits that building and comes to you at the same time it comes direct, it's out of phase. Hello. Nothing. That's how that works. Phasing is an amazing thing. Amazing thing. When I got into building microphones, Joe Walsh said to me, build a real microphone. I mean, he said, I want something that's really good. What we're doing here is we're making sure everybody's flat. This is no tricks and errors, buddy. This has got to be on target. This is our PR30. One of the things that I did when we started working on this project, no other microphone will do this, and we wanted to make science work for us. I didn't want anything from the back. You have these microphones, they have cardioid and super cardioid. What's a bunch of nonsense. I don't want anything out the back. A cardioid pattern has a spike out the back. A super has a little smaller spike out there. I don't want anything out there. What is it with Neumann, Sennheiser, Shure, I name them all.